Greetings everybody, my name is Tommy the Game Master and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about something that was last week's news, but I feel like talking about it and kind of elaborating it in a different way than what a lot of YouTubers have commented on it. And that is Nintendo discontinuing the NES Classic Edition. Now, I didn't get one of these. It didn't quite interest me too much. I did want the controller because I do play a lot of virtual console games, and having an actual NES controller for the virtual console seemed to interest me. But what pissed me off isn't the fact that does Nintendo not like money? I have to question, does Nintendo value its consumers? Because Nintendo, this is where you're always getting your ass kicked. Now, I'm going to defend Nintendo whenever someone says Nintendo's problem is they don't make a normal controller. Well, take a look at your Xbox and Sony controllers, and I can guarantee you I can count several innovations that Nintendo did because they broke the mold. From the placement of the D-pad, from the D-pad itself, to the shoulder buttons, to the rumble, to the wireless controllers. Nintendo is always innovating and seeing what works, and we as gamers, even if we don't support the company, come out ahead. However, Nintendo, you have failed the consumers or to listen to consumers on pretty much basically everything else, and that's usually why you fail. When you get a bad idea like the Wii U, yeah, you crash. But even when you're successful with things like the Wii, your failure to listen to your community and to adapt these changes really does hurt you. So what am I talking about exactly? Well, this latest NES debacle, even though it's not in direct competition with the Switch, it does mean they have to set off assembly lines that could be making Switch products to make NES Classic products, and they want to roll around maybe a Super Nintendo Classic. But my problem with them on it is this. When you do something that creates such a large buzz, such a large demand that you do not tap into it, what you are doing is basically giving people who want to consume your items. It was $60 for 30 NES games. That's $2 per NES game. It's actually a pretty good price. It had better emulation than what we've seen on most of Nintendo's consoles when it comes to emulation. And you also got a controller that kind of felt like an NES controller, and a lot of people were hyped for it. It would be the ultimate Christmas present. And Nintendo knew this from the beginning, and rather than making a bunch of them to at least try to satisfy demand, Nintendo right away said, screw it, we'll just throw what we decided to make out there. And what Nintendo did was hand its consumers, the people who wanted purchase products to them, to the scalpers. People who got them in stores, and people were buying them by the freaking cartload, sorry, were doing that so they could go on eBay and sell these NES classics. And then, you know, if people who actually wanted to play it wanted one, well, they got markup prices that were closer to the actual demand that Nintendo refused to supply, which could be up to $200 to $300. Not so great price point then. And Nintendo decided not to do anything, in fact, make matters worse by even telling us they're shutting off the supply. Those $300 are going to become $400 to $500 before long, folks. Nintendo created a bona fide collectible, and they should be ashamed for themselves. But, you know, even looking at their past, Nintendo has done some things that piss me off. One of the things they refused to change, I think they might be doing it a little bit with the Switch, but people have wanted for, and this is what I mean by treat your consumers correctly, Nintendo, is simple things like putting hard drives on your freaking consoles, so I don't have to buy a portable hard drive and stick up another electrical prong in order to power that hard drive because you refuse to put an internal one, Nintendo. Or, this one's simple freaking common sense. Sony, Microsoft, Steam, and pretty much anybody else who sells digital goods gets this idea. You, Nintendo, refuse to, but when I purchase a digital good, guess who I want that good to go to? I want it to be in my name. Nintendo, and I think they are switching this with the Switch, I've been told, but I want that to go to me. Nintendo seems to want it to be console only. It belongs on that console. So if that console should break or get stolen, I'm SOL if I purchase any digital goods from you. You treat your consumers like that, Nintendo, and yes, they will walk away. That's one of the reasons why you didn't sell well with the Wii U. You didn't have a good gimmick this time, you were overpriced, and people aren't going to put up with that if they are going to be treated like crap. You're doing well with the Switch because it's got a good pull. Even I'm kind of interested in one. Being able to take a console on the go, have it actually be a console, a little bit underpowered for a game console, but have it be the actual console and have it easily hooked up to the TV. I just have to slide it in. That does intrigue me. But one of the things that has also bitten you in the butt will be what happens when these people want to share their experiences with your console over social media. You already got a little bit of a backlash when it was released in March. I can't wait to see what happens when Super Mario Odyssey is released, and you get more backlash from YouTubers. And if you ever do decide to fully implement a share button, the last thing people want when they hit a button on their controller to share something with their friends is also an email from YouTube or whatever social media website they're using to share this with their friends that they've just violated copyright. Get your crap in order, Nintendo, because it is starting to make you decline. You got a good idea with the Switch, but a good idea isn't going to get you more customers, and you got to have more than one-time customer. You've got to keep them. Start treating your consumers with a little bit more respect. If you release a Super NES Classic, and it's going to be hard to sell this one, I have a feeling, but you better assure people that, yeah, we're going to have enough in demand that people who want to buy this will be able to make their purchases. Because if you don't and this fails, I think it will cost you eventually some ground with the Switch as well. Like I said, people don't want to shop at places or be a consumer of a product from a company who treats them like dirt. This is Tommy the Game Master signing out.